only 2 out of every 100 people can hear it. A formal survey in the early 1990s found that about 161 of Taos's 8,000 residents reported a persistent hum. If you love immersive mysteries, like and subscribe. It helps us bring these stories to life. For those few, it is a constant low vibration, part rumble, part tone. For everyone else, it is nothing at all. That gap has turned Taos into one of modern history's most puzzling case studies. Why does human perception divide so sharply within the same landscape? Even advanced tests by Los Alamos and Sandia National Laboratories, the Air Force Phillips Lab, and the University of New Mexico failed to locate a source. Their conclusion was stark. We are left with a mystery. And this mystery begins, quite literally, with the sound, or silence, that defines life in Taos. Imagine standing in the quiet of the New Mexican desert. The horizon holds stillness, the wind brushes past, and then, without warning, a slow vibration creeps into your awareness. It isn't sharp or piercing, but low, steady, and heavy, as though it lives just beneath the soil. Most people nearby insist the world is silent. Yet a very small number, about 2% of Taos residents, according to surveys, say the sound never stops. That proportion is tiny, but what makes it striking is the contrast. For the majority, there is truly nothing to hear. To you, though, if you were among the hearers, the hum would sound like a constant background presence you couldn't escape. Some describe it as a muted bass note that follows them from room to room, especially at night. Imagine if this filled your nights, but everyone around you insisted on silence. How would that feel? This difference has created tension inside the town. For some households, one partner complains of sleepless nights, while the other insists the home lies in perfect stillness. Neighbors quietly debate whether the sound is real or imagined. A few even dismiss it as nerves or ear trouble. Others, tormented by what they hear, frame it as an invasion no one else acknowledges. In this sense, it isn't only a sound. It becomes a test of trust. The story leapt beyond personal frustration in 1992, sparked by a single letter to the local paper. Katanya Saltzman wrote to the Taos News asking who else had heard a strange, low vibration. Dozens of residents responded, and together their voices drew national attention. That small push set formal study into motion. Scientists could no longer treat the hum as rumor. When investigators arrived, they carried specialized equipment and broad methods. They monitored acoustic, seismic, and electromagnetic signals for weeks. The effort became so fine-tuned that their geophones once captured the faint scraping of a gopher tunneling underground. If they could pick up a gopher, surely they could detect a hum shaking the lives of people. Yet, no clear source was found. The study eventually closed with 6 words etched firmly into mystery. We are left with a mystery. For those who claim to hear it, descriptions did overlap. Most place the pitch at about 32 to 80 hertz, so low it sits at the very edge of human hearing. One analogy surfaces again and again, like a distant diesel engine idling endlessly on the horizon. Others compare it to the weight of a single organ tone that never resolves. Whether throbbing, humming, or pressing like hidden energy lines, each variation fed the same unsettled truth. It was always there for the few who could perceive it. The effects also varied. Many reported headaches, sudden fatigue, or the torment of sleepless nights. Stress mounted in homes where one family member swore the sound was present, and others insisted nothing was wrong. Yet for some, the hum gave off a strange calm. They likened it to the resonance of a meditation bowl, something steady and grounding rather than disruptive. That range of responses only deepened the puzzle. Why did the same sound disturb one hearer and soothe another? We're not just talking about Taos. Tales of similar drones come from elsewhere. In Bristol, England, throughout the 1970s, hundreds of residents petitioned about a mysterious low hum that plagued their nights. More recently, in Windsor, Ontario, residents battled a persistent vibration suspected to come from industrial operations on Zug Island. Even in Kokomo, Indiana, reports sparked such public distress that researchers eventually traced parts of the sound to factory equipment. Yet some residents swore the hum continued long after. These echoes abroad suggest that Taos might be part of a wider, hidden pattern. So what remains is not only about a sound we cannot agree on, but about the people living with completely different experiences in the same place. The dividing line isn't mapped in geography, but in perception, between those who hear and those who don't. And that very divide raises the most unsettling question of all. When the world around us feels different to each of us, what does that mean for the reality we share? What stands out in Taos is that the mystery doesn't rest only in the sound, but in how differently people experience the same silence. Some hear nothing at all. Others describe a low drone they cannot escape. Whether it comes from industrial machinery, inner ear effects, or subtle atmospheric shifts, no single explanation has ever been confirmed. For you, the takeaway is simple. Silence isn't always the same for everyone. The official investigators themselves left us with one final line. We are left with a mystery. Subscribe and turn on notifications to explore more stories like this. And tell us in the comments, if you lived in Taos, do you think you'd hear it?